In this video, I'm going to grade all 13 of Tom Brady's playoff losses. Now, I just want all of you to know that I took an insane amount of time and effort and energy into making this video, and I fretted so hard about what grades I was going to give each and every one of these losses. Just keep that in mind when you're watching, okay? Let's get to the video. Brady's first career playoff loss came in 2005 to the Denver Broncos in the divisional round. Brady came into this game with a 10-0 career playoff record and 3 Super Bowl wins already. And with the Patriots trailing just 10-6 late in the third quarter, he threw what should have been a 100-yard pick six to Champ Bailey, but Ben Watson heroically stopped Bailey before he got in the end zone. Nevertheless, the Patriots fell 27-13 in a game that really wasn't ever competitive in the fourth quarter. Grade A+. Brady's second career playoff loss was to the Colts on the road in the 2006 AFC Championship game. This game is famous for the Patriots going up 21-3 in the first quarter, thanks in part to an Asante Samuel pick six, before Peyton Manning led a ferocious second half comeback in order to get the Colts the win 38-34. The game famously ended with Brady throwing an interception on the final drive to seal the loss for the Patriots. This is one of the greatest games in NFL history and also one of the most impactful. Grade A+. Brady's third career playoff loss came the next year in Super Bowl 42 to the New York Giants. Obviously, everybody already knows the story here. The Patriots came in with an 18-0 record looking to finish their perfect season, thanks in part to both Eli Manning coming through in the clutch, a lucky helmet catch, and a dominant performance by the Giants defense. The Giants barely were able to squeak out a 17-14 win, despite Brady leading a go-ahead drive late in the fourth quarter. This is obviously one of the biggest upsets in NFL history and sports history in general. Even though the game itself could have been a little bit boring, as it was only a 7-3 game heading into the fourth quarter, it also, like the 2006 AFC Championship game, is one of the most impactful and memorable games in NFL history. Therefore, I have no other choice but to give it a grade of A+. Brady's fourth playoff loss was the worst performance of his postseason career in a 33-14 blowout home loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Brady finished with 4 turnovers, including 3 interceptions, for a dreadful 49.1 passer rating. The Ravens were up 24-0 after the first quarter, and the game was never really in doubt the entire time. Because the game was never competitive and the Ravens were in decisive control the entire way, I have no choice but to give this a grade of A+. Brady's fifth career playoff loss also came at home the next year to the New York Jets after going 14-2 in the regular season and winning his second MVP. The final score makes the game seem a lot closer than it actually was, as the Jets were up 10 and 14 at times in the fourth quarter before Brady threw a garbage time touchdown to pad his stats. This is one of the biggest upsets in NFL history, and the Jets have not won a playoff game since, but it's worth it. Grade A+. Brady's sixth career playoff loss was in Super Bowl 46 to the New York Giants, in a mirror of what happened 4 years prior. Just like in Super Bowl 42, the Patriots had a lead late in the game, but Eli Manning, thanks to a great throw to Mario Manningham, as well as a Wes Welker drop that was really a bad pass by Brady, gave the Giants just enough to squeak out another close win. Brady was great through 3 quarters, but was terrible in the fourth quarter. He even threw a touchdown pass to notable class act and respecter of human life Aaron Hernandez, but it was not enough. Because of it going down to the wire, a literal last-second Hail Mary, I'm going to give this game an A+. Brady's seventh career playoff loss was a blowout loss at home to the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Unfortunately for Brady, he was caught up in Hurricane Flacco during Flacco's unprecedentedly great and random 2012 playoff run. The Patriots actually had a 13-7 lead at halftime before getting shut out in the second half thanks to 3 turnovers and 3 touchdown passes from Flacco. This game went from being pretty competitive through 3 quarters to a blowout pretty quickly. Because the ending was somewhat anticlimactic, I'm going to have to penalize this final game's grade, taking it from an A++ to just an A+. Tom Brady's 8th career playoff loss came the next season also in the AFC Championship game, but this time on the road to the offensive juggernaut Denver Broncos led by Peyton Manning, who had thrown 55 touchdowns that season, an NFL record that he took back from Brady, by the way. Another game where the final score made it seem closer than it actually was. The Broncos offense dominated all day and had a 26-3 lead at one point in the fourth quarter before Brady added a couple garbage time touchdowns to make his stats look better and the final score more respectable, but it really wasn't. Because this game was never really competitive at any point, I'm going to have to give it an A+. Brady's 9th career playoff loss came 2 years later in the same exact spot in the same exact round, on the road in the AFC Championship game to the Denver Broncos. A year after he won his 4th ring thanks to Malcolm Butler, Brady was pretty terrible in this game, outside outside of one great throw to Gronk at the very end. On fourth down, his final numbers were atrocious, and he got multiple chance after chance because the Denver Broncos offense was atrocious, but thankfully the Broncos offense was legendarily dominant. Even still, this game went down to a 2-point conversion at the very end, and Brady threw a pick on the 2-point conversion, sealing the loss for the Patriots. This was an intense game that went down to the very last play, so I have to give it a grade of A+. Brady's 10th playoff loss came 2 years later after he'd won his 5th ring the year before, thanks to the Atlanta Falcons being the Atlanta Falcons. It was a loss in Super Bowl 52 to my Philadelphia Eagles. This is personally my favorite Brady loss of all time, as you can probably expect. Even though Brady threw for over 500 yards and had great stats, he had one crucial turnover at the worst possible time for the Patriots that all but sealed their loss. Even though his defense gave him the ball back for one last chance and a Hail Mary, because the game was high scoring and exciting, even though most of Brady's stats were hollow and came on a bunch of plays where there was nobody within 30 yards of his receivers, I'm going to have to give this game a grade of A+. Brady's 11th and final playoff loss with the Patriots came 2 years later after he had won a 6th ring the year before in the Super Bowl against the Rams, where he heroically led his offense to 13 points on 11 drives. This one came at home in the wild card round to the Tennessee Titans. Brady put up terrible numbers, including a pick 6 at the very end to seal the game, and he was shut out in the second half and in the clutch, one of the very few times you could really say that about him, to be honest. But nevertheless, this game ended the Patriots' streak of 8 straight years in the AFC Championship game, so the Titans are responsible for ruining history in the making, and because of that and their selfishness, I'm going to have to give this game a grade of A+. Brady's 12th playoff loss and first playoff loss with Tampa Bay came a couple years later after he won a Mickey Mouse ring in a pandemic season thanks to his defense giving him a bunch of short field. This loss was against the LA Rams and Matthew Stafford. After falling behind 27-3 in the third quarter, Brady's magic was at work as the Rams suddenly looked like they'd never seen a football before in their lives, letting the Buccaneers come back to tie the game at 27 before Stafford heroically found Cooper Kupp at the last moment to save the team from having one of the worst collapses in sports history and eliminate the Buccaneers. Grade A+. Brady then retired after the game and then heroically unretired about a month later to return for his 23rd season in the NFL and 3rd year in Tampa. His final year in Tampa was trying, and his 13th and final career playoff loss came at home against the Dallas Cowboys in the wildcard round. In what actually looks like his final career NFL game for good as he retired again, Brady threw 66 passes, hugely padding his stats and playing like complete crap once again. It was amazing, but because it was the Cowboys winning, as an Eagles fan, it is kind of bittersweet for me. Therefore, I'm going to have to give this game a grade of A+. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please press that subscribe button for more incredibly in-depth and detailed content like this on a consistent basis from me. I'm not saying I'm a hero, but, well, who am I kidding? I am a hero. Thanks again for watching.